Double trouble. One crime, two trials? Imagine this. You're accused of a crime. You stand trial, and you're found not guilty. You're free to go, right? Not always. In the complex world of law, sometimes you can be tried twice for the same crime. That's double jeopardy. And it was at the heart of a landmark case. Palko versus Connecticut. The Fifth Amendment, where the Double Jeopardy Clause resides, initially only applied to the federal government, not the states. This meant states could, and sometimes did, have their own rules about double jeopardy. This discrepancy, this legal loophole, is where our story begins. A story that would forever change the landscape of American justice. Frank Palko's life was far from idyllic. He was a small-time crook in Connecticut, living on the fringes of the law. In 1935, he committed a robbery that went tragically wrong, resulting in the deaths of 2 police officers. Palko was first tried for first-degree murder, the most serious charge. The jury, however, convicted him of the lesser charge of second-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison. The state of Connecticut, unsatisfied with the outcome, decided to roll the dice again. They appealed Palko's case, aiming for a new trial and the possibility of a harsher sentence. Palko, now facing the very real threat of a death sentence, found himself trapped in a legal nightmare. His case became a battleground for a much larger issue: the balance of power between individual rights and the reach of the government. At the heart of Palko's case lay a fundamental question: did the Fifth Amendment's protection against double jeopardy apply to the states? The answer hinged on the 14th Amendment, a post-Civil War addition to the Constitution. This amendment, designed to protect the rights of newly freed slaves, contained a crucial clause: the Due Process Clause. The legal battle revolved around whether the 14th Amendment's Due Process Clause incorporated the Fifth Amendment's Double Jeopardy Clause, making it applicable to the states. If it did, Connecticut's actions were unconstitutional. If not, Palko was facing a second trial and potentially a death sentence. Lawyers across the country debated the merits of Palko's case. In 1937, the case of Palko versus Connecticut reached the United States Supreme Court. The justices faced a momentous decision. Their ruling would have profound implications for the relationship between the federal government and the states, and for the very essence of double jeopardy protection. In a deeply divided 8-1 decision, the court ruled against Frank Palko. They held that the 14th Amendment's Due Process Clause did not absorb the Fifth Amendment's Double Jeopardy Clause. The court reasoned that the right against double jeopardy, while important, was not a fundamental right essential to a fair and just system. Justice Benjamin Cardozo, writing for the majority, argued that the Fifth Amendment's protection against double jeopardy was not implicit in the concept of ordered liberty. The ruling meant that states had the power to try individuals twice for the same crime, as long as their state laws permitted it. The Supreme Court's decision in Palko versus Connecticut stood for over 3 decades. It cast a long shadow over the Fifth Amendment's Double Jeopardy Clause, leaving it vulnerable to state infringement. But the fight for double jeopardy protection was far from over. In 1969, another landmark case, Benton versus Maryland, reached the Supreme Court. This case, like Palko's, challenged the state's right to subject an individual to a second trial for the same offense. The court, revisiting the issue of double jeopardy and the 14th Amendment, reached a different conclusion. They overturned the Palko decision, ruling that the Double Jeopardy Clause was indeed a fundamental right protected by the 14th Amendment and applicable to the states. Justice Potter Stewart, writing for the majority in Benton, argued that the Double Jeopardy Clause was fundamental to the American scheme of justice. The Benton decision marked a turning point in the evolution of double jeopardy jurisprudence. The story of Frank Palko is a stark reminder of the complexities of the American legal system and the ever-evolving interpretation of our constitutional rights. Though Palko ultimately lost his case and his life, his ordeal sparked a national conversation about the limits of government power and the importance of protecting individual liberties. The Supreme Court's decision in Palko versus Connecticut, though later overturned, highlighted the delicate balance between state and federal authority. The legacy of Palko versus Connecticut serves as a testament to the ongoing struggle to safeguard our rights and ensure that the scales of justice remain balanced. It reminds us that the fight for justice is a continuous journey, requiring constant vigilance and a commitment to upholding the principles enshrined in our founding documents. If you found this story thought-provoking, don't forget to hit the like button to support the channel, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on more fascinating insights into history and law. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.